Yes, sir. Fire away.
Coach, I know it's early. Just what are your early feelings about the team? What do you like?
Well, I go back. I think we had a really good spring. Then we followed that up with some young guys that came in early in the mini master. Then, obviously, we got going. Some of the guys were away with their foreign teams, which gave a couple of the new guys a lot of chance to get a lot of reps. And when you think about the official day of practice being yesterday, what that really means, because we get to practice year round when school's in session, where we basically now go from an 8-hour week to a 20-hour week, which very seldom do we use that because of the fact that it's a long season. And we're even conscious right now of older guys that we know that are going to put in a lot of mileage for us this year, that we try to protect them as much as we can this time of year. But overall, I just like the way that the chemistry again has been really good, and the work ethic maybe as good as we've ever had, and which is a good thing. But that comes from, I think, leadership with our older guys.
Olivier was one of those guys that was playing away on his national team. Just what did you see from him and playing in those games, and then just coming back from injury when he got back over here as well?
Well, I thought the big thing with him going back and getting to play with his national team was simply he got to play basketball up and down, where we during different times of the year we do different things. It's not like we're playing 40-minute games. Our practices, sometimes in the half court, sometimes up and down. But that was valuable for him, being able to go back and really just play in some really competitive games with some really good competition and good players. And but coming back, he came back and was with us for about a week, I think, before he had to go back again. And we're just wanting him to pick right back up where he left off, because he had really started coming into his own a year ago, and no one's more dedicated, committed to doing that than he is.
You mentioned the strong leadership on his team. Does that make it easier for some of the newcomers to kind of come in with the ground running?
Well, we tell the newcomers that when they come in, if they're smart, they'll really take great notes and notice and hitch their wagons to those older guys. And I think that we've seen that probably more so with this group than any. And our older guys have, they've done a terrific job with these young guys. They really have. Just letting them know, how we want things done, and letting them know that we're very much a detail-oriented program, and if you do what you're supposed to do, it's going to all work out and everything's going to be fine, and just take care of the details and work hard every day. And but our older guys have done a really good job.
Rick, how has this offseason been different from years past, if at all?
No, it was different, certainly at the end of the year, with the transfer portal being what it is today, the NIL coming in a rush, really, and it's been I'm not sure we even felt like an off season, because it was one thing right after the other, with more visits than normal because of the transfer portal, which I think obviously the NCAA is going to have to adjust that rule, where just there's more opportunities to have prospects visit, so we're going to have more visits. And but from a program standpoint, again, I'm just really pleased with the effort that all of our guys made in the off season.
What have you learned about Tyree that you didn't know when you got here?
His versatility. He's a terrific instincts. We're telling him that we'd like to see him play the point some and learn different positions, but he's got a game where he can be effective in so many different ways. Just an incredible work ethic, committed. He's tough on himself, but he brings it every day. I mean, he's never fought us on one thing, and he's going to make a huge impact for us because of his versatility.
Coach, is BJ on the ball guard, off the ball guard? Have you seen enough if you think he can help this year?
If you really pressed me really hard and asked me who I was probably most surprised with during the summer, it'd probably be BJ, in the fact that he had to go against Zakai with Santi being gone. He had to go against Zakai every single day, and just like Kennedy a year ago, I mean, I think certainly BJ would say the same thing, that it was as tough as it was great for him, because Zakai is one of those guys. It's it's never an off season. He's in mid-season, and he's in season form all the time, and the way he brings it every single day. And watching BJ handle that every day was really neat. And again, it somewhat surprised me, to be quite frank. But yet, he's really worked hard at trying to get consistent with his shot. He's deceptive, but the one thing that we do know is that he's very competitive, and he's willing to buy into whatever role that we know that we need to put him in right now.
Is he point guard or shooting?
I think both. I think he's both. I mean, because now when he first got here, he strictly played the point. I mean, all summer long, but we wanted to be off the ball because with the group that we have, we'd like to get our guards rebounding more and going with it and knowing multiple positions help all of them, because it gives them a chance to obviously not be just locked into one position.
What about where has Jonas grown this offseason?
Well, he's stronger, and he's put more time in it. I think he's still understanding how hard he's going to have to play with the speed of the game, and because we want to play faster than we've ever played, and for that to happen, we need everybody to understand that. But he's definitely improved. One of his great strengths is that he really can shoot the ball. We don't have a problem with him shooting it, as long as he's doing all the other things that we need from his position, because he's worked hard at shooting the ball. But we still need he and Urosh and Olivier and Tobey. Those guys need to give us some a presence inside, and we need that from them. We're going to use our guards in there some, because we think we have guards that can do some of that.
What about this team makes you want to play so fast?
Just the skill level, the speed that we have, and the fact that I think if we can get down the floor, spread the floor, we've shot the ball well, but as you know, there's going to be nights when it's not going the way you want it to, and we've really made a conscious effort to get better rebounding on both ends. We need to certainly get better there, but just with the versatility we have on the perimeter, we think that we should be able to play quicker, faster.
Coach, this is going back to Josiah. It's 4 straight years you've had a McDonald's All-American type freshman. How does Julian fit in with that group?
A lot the same thing is versatility. Julian's another guy that we've tried to, we've used him at point some. We've used him all over because, again, it's really hard to play the point in our system. It's not an easy thing to do. It's very tough to do defensively every day, the way we're looking to hit that position. But he worked probably as hard as any player we've had since we've been here in terms of extra time in the weight room. I mean, he has gone above and beyond with his time with Garrett. Every chance he would get on the weekends or whatever, he stayed. He wanted to get that done, and he's a very skilled basketball player. Got a terrific feel for the game, and a guy that, again, his versatility is going to be key for us. Like all young guys coming in, still has to understand a lot defensively, and but that's not unusual. But he's going to work at it every day to try to get it.
What kind of summer did DJ have?
DJ, we love him because we think he's a terrific athlete. He's strong, very explosive in a real sneaky way. Again, like most high school guys coming in, it's the defensive end where he's learning that too. He's no different than Julian or any of the high school guys. Away from the ball mainly, understanding where he's got to be away from the ball, but he's really, in the last 10 days, has made some great strides. And we were just talking about him last night after practice, how with his athletic ability and the things that he does, it's been fun, and certainly the last week and a half, it's been neat watching him jump like he has.
Rick, how many guys since you've been here, I know you talk about freshmen defensively, how much they usually have to learn. How many since you've been here have been guys that as a freshman you'd say, okay, like I trust that kid, he understands what we're trying to do defensively?
Well, if you go back on the ball, I mean, I think what Zakai brought a year ago was pretty phenomenal, really. I mean, what he did, and a couple guys can really get up. We got 3 guys, I think, that can really get into the ball at a very high level, and away from the ball. you know, we spend so much time with our help defense, you know, understanding where guys need to be, but it's hard. You know, it's really hard. I would say that BJ's actually done a pretty good job of making that adjustment. But with that said, he's having to guard the hardest spot on the floor, or he has to up to this point. And because of that, and he's done a good job there, maybe off the ball as much. He still needs to get better there. But the biggest thing is to getting them all to understand, the young guys, how you got to finish the possession with a rebound. You know, contesting shots. What's a real contested shot and what's not. Just putting your hand up is not good enough at this level, and it's the details that you get back to that. And the only way you get them is through repetition, just every day, just trying to rep it.
You got it.
Appreciate it. A lot of the programs around Tennessee athletics are doing really well now. You know, competing for championships, succeeding golf team is one of the latest to win a title. What is your excitement around Tennessee athletics as you know it continues to grow and a lot of these teams are doing so well?
Well, I think it shows you that Tennessee's a university that wants to do well in everything, and which, you know, you think about it, that's where your success comes. I mean, you know, and I look around at the coaches here. I've been a part of some really wonderful coaching staffs. This is one of the best I've ever been around because the camaraderie that I think coaches have amongst themselves, I think assistant coaches have with the other programs, and it starts at the top. You know, we have just incredible leadership from our board to Randy Boyd, to Donde Plowman, Danny White and his staff. I mean, they're doing everything they can to give us the opportunity to be successful at the highest level, and it's everything. And I think we're at a point in time where, as a university, you know, we know we're in the best athletic league in the country, and we're given the resources to do. And what I love about it is we know that we've got to get better. Not only what we did a year ago, we want to continue to get better as a basketball team, but we have an administration that's very competitive. They're looking around at what other people are doing, and they're saying, okay, you know, we got to keep going. And it's all about doing everything we can to give back to the athletes and give the athletes every opportunity to excel at the highest level. But it's really neat to be a part of it when you see the success that's going on with other programs. And it helps all of us. You know, I mean, the atmosphere, whether you go back to the spring with football when we were baseball when we were having recruits in, that, you know, at that time of year we normally don't have many recruits in, but with what was happening with baseball, just gives everybody a chance to understand what our fan base is about. And what they leave here understanding is that, you know, the Vol Nation really cares about everything. Then you couple that with, you know, this past couple of football games and having recruits in, they realize, and I know how softball, I know how everything else is attended, and so if you can get somebody here, they can truly get a sense of what our fan base is about, and you realize that volunteers really do care a great deal about their teams.
In terms of playing faster, how did the team take to that, and, you know, especially the leaders just being here for so long?
Well, you know, playing faster is not necessary. I mean, you know, you got to always run hard, do that, but it's moving the ball. You know, it's getting the ball. It's learning how to pass the ball the way it needs to be passed, and putting it where it needs to go, so a guy doesn't have to look back and slow down and let the defense catch up. You put it in the right spot where you can catch it in stride, move, all those type things. So it's not just, it's fundamental basketball what it gets down to. You know, you got to, if you want to play quick, you want to play fast, it is a mindset that you can develop, but it's going to get back to fundamentals. Can you do it at a high level where you can take care of the ball, and can you take a snapshot of what's going on around you and make the right read?